going to play a game as Fractured against Prussia 6, and I'll narrate this game as if a new player or an aspiring new Fractured player was watching over my shoulder. To be sort of a teaching experience of sorts. Right off the bat, there are some very, very good cards here for Fractured. If you're new to Fractured, and you've played a game before, you probably had a horrible experience because Absolute Stasis just stalls a land. Poor Time Sideways, no one ever wants to take this card because you probably tried to just ambush your teammates with this saying, hey, can anyone take all my actions? No one can. So no one will ever want this. And if you've ever asked people, hey, what if I did past returns again? You're probably just going to get a lukewarm, I don't really care type reaction. And Blur, well, Blur isn't really playable if you don't have defense. And you might not have realized that you really, 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 really needed defense in order to be able to play this card. So, with my opening days, what do I see? I see that there's probably the best defend miner that Fracture can get their hands on. I see there's another card that has the word defense on it. Every scrap of defense you can get your hands on will be useful. I see a perfect element card, that's a 1-coster. And I see another very good element card that's also a 0-coster. This card is certainly not as exciting as the others. I don't think I've ever played this card, ever, as anyone. Up here in the majors, because it's a solo game, I could just play this and win on the spot, but I won't because in multiplayer, you don't win by playing this card. You've got the other really, really, really good defend card. And these other cards, these 4 here, I'm not too excited about them. Like some of these are probably good, but I don't have experience using them just yet. So, because you have Blur, you have a card that adds to Han, which is ridiculous, and it also pushes to Han, which is even better. So you have a card that makes you very, very good at taking advantage of Dahan. It just needs defense. If you didn't have these good defense cards available in days, not to worry. That means you have complete shit in here. And if you've got complete garbage over here, then there's the good cards are in here, the minor deck, which means if you click the gain minor power button, you'll probably get something usable. Alright, against Prussia, you really want to try to keep your coast clean if at all possible. So I'm definitely looking towards preventing or interacting with this coastal jungle ravage. It would be normally I would let this land just handle itself, but I'm not sure how I feel about taking Cascade. Probably we'll let the beast land go, and if I somehow have actions left to spare, I guess I'll try to deal with my corner, but that one's probably also dying. So, is thresholding this possible? Thresholding trees and stones will require drafting a rock plant card, which I don't have available to me in days. And my cards in days are so good that don't really think I can justify clicking the game minor power to look for one, because these cards are just good enough as is. I'll likely Maybe I can just accept the cascade here. I can accept the cascade here, and then just defend the lands that my presence are on top of. Losing presence as fractured is pretty painful, since picking growth 2 is uncomfortable, to say the least. The value that you get out of growth 2 is astoundingly good. Adding more presence is good, drafting more powers is good, but it often doesn't favorably compare to getting the energy from growth 3 or the card from days from growth 3. So because of that, your presence on the board as fractured is quite valuable. I think I'll probably just draft these 2 defend cards over the course of the first 2 turns. So my play will probably look something like this. Take my free time just from being solo, and then I'll probably just take 3 time from bottom track to get 2 plays. This is not normally something I do. Normally, it would be quite nice to get the 2 energy, but I think I'll do that. I'll get the sun element, I'm picking G3, I'll take sap. Do I want to move my presence? Don't think so. I took sap, and I took 3 time from bottom track. This gives me 2 plays. That way I can play Blur with past returns again. And really the only reason why I'm playing past returns again is for the moon element, so that I can reclaim a card. Because having Blur in your hand is a lot better than having it in discard. Get my energy, pay it. I'm not going to resolve Blur, past returns again, resolve Blur. I'm going to position Dahan for next turn, so I'll target Sands, add Dahan, push 1 here, push 1 there. Then I'll activate Slip. The thing about Fractured is that you need to be thinking about your next turn every turn. Because you can reclaim cards in the fast phase, you can stall and delay having to take G1 Reclaim. G1 Reclaim is certainly far weaker than all your other options because G1 Reclaim doesn't let you get a card and it doesn't let you manipulate your presence placement, and it lets you get fewer time from your tracks. So it's just the worst of all worlds, unless you really needed your cards back. But the thing is, in order to delay your G1 reclaims using your left innate, you need to know in advance which cards you want to play next turn. You need to know right now which cards you want to reclaim. I'm just going to take Blur. Because even though I don't actually know if I'm going to play Blur, even though I know next turn I'm not going to play Blur, I'm going to want it eventually. Invader phase. +1 damage is gone. Nice. Alright. Time passes. Alright, my next turn. I want to play Sap. I want to play Guardian Spirits. So I'm going to G3. G3, gaining Sun. I want to move my presence. I didn't move it last turn. I don't think I'm going to move it this turn. Get Guardian Serpents. Then just get some time. Take that. 2 energy, 3 card plays is pretty comfortable to be on. Play the cards. Get 2 energy, pay 1. Resolve Sap, put the 5 defense there, resolve Guardian Serpents, 4 defense here, and a Beast. They don't Ravage unless there's more than one, sure. Beast damage, okay. Dahan run away from... not applicable. Okay, Ravage. Highly unfortunate to be going Blighted already. This is not very good. Okay. Wait. Ah, shit. This jungle was never supposed to ravage. Oopsies. Looks better. Alright. Mountain build. Wetland. Trying to keep the coast clean. This desperately needs attention. So, time passes. Next turn. I can see quite clearly that I want to play trees and stones to solve my corner mountain. So, I know for a fact I'm going to G3. G3, gaining that card. And Poor Time Sideways is just not a very useful card. You could probably go quite far in your Fracture career, never ever resolving this card, really. Ever. That's not to say that's never useful. If you can coordinate this with a teammate 1 or 2 turns in advance, you could make this work, but eh. Sun. I need to move a presence to be close to the mountain, otherwise I can't target trees and stones there. So Sun, move presence, gain the card, and now I can either I just get time and energy. I'm definitely playing trees and stones. And I could play Blur to get Dahan from this forest to somewhere more useful. I'll probably do that. And then, if I wanted, I could play Stasis. Stasis doesn't really do anything. It doesn't solve much of my problems. So maybe I won't play Stasis. Okay. It definitely looks like I'm going to G1 Reclaim next turn, because I can't delay it any further. I don't have any moon with which to access my Reclaim innate, which means next turn I'm going to be gaining 2 time. I'll probably spend so let's see. I think I'll get 2 time, with this current growth option, I'll take 2 time off the tracks, and then get 2 energy. Gain 2 energy from growth. That way, I'll start resolving my cards now, so pay 3. I'll play Blur. I guess I'll target here. No. I'll resolve trees and stones first. 2 damage, 4 defense. Now I resolve Blur. Add to Han. Push 2. Repeat it, spending a time. Add to Han. Push 2, I guess. Onto the snakes? Rather not. Push 2. See, now this way, I have 2 time to take off my tracks, and so I don't feel too bad when I G1 Reclaim. That's the whole point of what I was trying to say. Urbanization. If it has 2 towns, replace half of them with city. Nope. Skip. Nah, whatever. Dahan run. Are you kidding me? Dahan run away from cities? I hate that so much. Replace town with 2 dudes? Mountain Ravage. Wetland build. Sand. Tier 1 reclaim. This is depressing. My Dahan running away from me. But that's the price you pay when you play Dahan-centered strategies. You sometimes just don't want to cooperate. So it definitely looks like I'll need to be playing... Oh, G2, G1 reclaim. I'll likely be playing my defense cards again. Just like that. There's really not much else to it. Do I play Blur? I don't even know. I don't even have anywhere to target it. If I don't play Blur, then I should play Past Returns again to get access to my Reclaim innate, because I'm definitely going to want to play Sap in my Inland Sand next turn. Sure. Get 3 energy, pay 1. Resolve Sap, put 5 defense in here. Sap is a great card, because it pretty much always has one in one range when you're playing Fractured. So Guardian Serpents, 4 defense. The second beast shows up. Past returns, I'm not going to resolve that. Next turn, I know for a fact I need to play Sap, so I'll reclaim that with my innate. I could reclaim Guardian Serpents as well. I am not sure if I'll need it, but I may as well take it. Why not? It doesn't really cost me much. Okay. What does that say? +1 distance explorer, sure. It's a good thing I did not put my Dahan in the Snake Land, because otherwise one of them would have died. And I get 2 fear from that event card. Reveal. Scapegoats. Wetland Ravage. Sand build. Explore. Sure. Time passes. So, I definitely need to play Sap into my Inland Sand. Need that 5 defense here. It would be really nice if I could find a way to blur my wetland. And then get Dahan into my other sand. But that would require 2 more defend cards to be played. Is it possible for me to hit big thresholds to my left innate? Ah, I don't need to. I can use Enticing Splendor to gather the Explorer out of the wetland. That way, I can freely blur the wetland without having to get killed by Build Ravage. And that way, I can get more Dahan into this sand. Sure. Once again, I will G3. Or maybe I play Delusions of Danger. Better elements. It does cost energy though, but I guess I'm quite rich. I'll take Delusions of Danger. Maybe the elements will be helpful. I don't know. Reposition this presence over here. Oh no, wait. I'm not using Enticing Splendor. I don't need to do that. I would like to keep my presence near this mountain if I can. So, That element, choosing not to move a presence. Or maybe I do have to move a presence. Yeah. Gain a power card. Gain time. And 4 energy. 3 energy from tracks. Want to play Blur. Play Delusions of Danger. I'll need to play another defend card, and that can only realistically be Trees and Stones. That cost me 4 energy. Resolve Delusions to push this dude into here, I guess. Resolve Blur. Put Dahan, push 2. I'll repeat it. Add Dahan, push 2. Having in this particular game, for me, having large stacks of Dahan will make Trees and Stones a lot more effective. So, because I'm envisioning some sort of play where, oh, maybe I want them here instead. That way I can Trees and Stone. I might be able to Trees and Stone that next turn. Okay. Resolve Trees and Stones in here, I guess. Kill that town for defense. I'll use my left innate to reclaim a card. Reclaim Trees and Stones. And I still have the elements to throw out Sap. So I'll throw out Sap. 5 defense here. Next turn, I'll have to play Guardian Serpents. See, once again, I need to think about my next turn because I need to know if I want to reclaim any of my cards using left innate. Next turn, I'm going to take Guardian Serpents and play that in my wetland again. I'll probably also want to Trees and Stones and or Sap the mountains that'll be ravaging. So I'll definitely need some defense cards. And well, if I'm going to be trying to defend these mountains, I don't even have any Dahan in this coastal mountain, so I want Blur for that. So I think I'll reclaim Sap using another instance of my left innate. That costs an extra time. And then I'll reclaim Blur. Okay. That way, I have good cards I can play next turn. After advancing evaded cards, I'll stick that down there. Beast damage. Okay, I guess I don't need to play Guardian Serpents there anymore. And I'll keep this beast around. I'll pull off those explorers. To hunt a mountain or sands? Mountain, thank you. Sand Ravage. Some builds. Sand Mountain. Advanced invaded cards, and I have to build under forest. Fine. Okay. Definitely need to pay a lot of attention to the mountains today. What can I do? Trees and Stones completely just breaks this apart because you kill off the city and then make 6 defense. It alone, this 2-cost major is alone enough to deal with that mountain. I'm guaranteed to play that. Now I need to find a way to deal with the other mountain. If I take Enticing Splendor, I could put a presence here and drag that guy over here. that allows me to safely blur into here. Or I could put my presence over here and then defend that land with Guardian Serpents, which again allows me to safely blur into there. Both works. So I have determined that I can safely blur the sand. I have the tools to blur the sands. That way I can get like 4 Dahan in here. But then I need to figure out how to keep that 4 Dahan alive. If I could just repeat trees and stones somehow, that'd be pretty good. Does that mean I play these cards? Not enough sun, not enough air. How about these cards? Not enough moon. This here is 9 damage. How can I find a way to keep my Mountain Dahan alive? I could take Enticing Splendor and play it. This way I get access to my extra card play innate, allowing me to throw out Guardian Serpents with 1 usage of my innate. And that gives me enough elements to repeat Trees and Stones. This entire play would cost me 6 energy, which I can already afford even without having done my growth action. That's totally serviceable. Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll do that then. Alright, so to recap, I have not done yet my grown action. Take Sun, and I don't think I move my presence. No, I do. I move it here. Move Presence, gain Enticing Splendor, and I'll just take time. Take 3 time, get 2 energy. Ooh, 2 energy. And I will play Trees and Stone, play Blur, and play Enticing Splendor. That costs 3. I will now use I'll use my left innate to put Guardian Serpents into play. That costs an energy. Start resolving cards, sure. Enticing Splendor. I'll target my corner wetland, grabbing this explorer and putting him in there. Guardian Serpents, 4 defense, and a beast. See, when I originally saw cards like Guardian Serpents, or cards like Quicken, I initially turned my nose up at them, thinking that, it's a sacred site. I'll never be able to target this card. But no, it's useful. Cards of defense are useful. And more with every passing day, I'm getting humbled every time I see a defense card. At this point, I would not be surprised if Encompassing Ward or any other like 2 defend card would be completely usable in Fractured's hands. Defense. It's all about defense. What was I doing again? Resolving Blur. They build. They ravage. Dahan gets added. Push 2 Dahan. Spend time to do that all again. Build, ravage, Dahan, push 2. Resolve trees and stones. Targeting this mountain. 3 damage. 6 defense. I have the threshold? I guess I do. Don't really need it though. I'll now use my left innate. Reclaim a card. play a card, because I still have the elements. Remember, when you reclaim one of these cards, you lose the elements. Reclaim, play. That costs 2 energy. 4 damage here. So, kill 2 towns. 8 defense. Using my innate again would have cost me a time. Is there anything else that I want to do? Not particularly. All right, clean up. Hmm. Sure, I guess. I'll pick bottom. I'll put stasis in, I'll throw in stasis, and put it into play without paying its cost. Use it immediately, so that costs me a time. And I'll just stasis that jungle. Snakes don't do anything. I don't have them on the board. I have 1,000,000 to hunt on my board, and I can remove a blight. That one. Alright, few cards. Downgrade town and coast, no targets. Don't need defense. Fear, don't need more defense. Mountain, wetland, ravage. You're dead. You are dead. And you are dead. Sand mountain build, completely nothing. Explore mountain. And this one has been stasis, so doesn't explore. Because the forest has been stasis, there's no sources for that one. There you go. Discard. Forget. Whoops, didn't do that earlier. Put that away, and now it's easy clap. The game is won. Reclaim. Get 2 energy. Play blur. Play trees and stones. And play sap. Pay 3. Put 5 defense into here with sap. Deal 2 damage and put 4 more defense with trees and stones. And then force the jungle to ravage with blur. So they build a ravage, add to Han, pay time, build, ravage, and it's over. That's a very bread and butter game of Fractured where things go astoundingly smoothly when you're off because you're offered the best defense cards. Like I actually don't think there are better defense cards to be offered besides these exact two. Sap is a 0-coster, 1 range, defend 5. You can't go wrong with this. Trees and Stones lets you make effectively 9 defense from just 3 to Han. And 3 to Han is something that's pretty easy for you to get with Blur. Yeah, bog standard Fracture game. Defend plus Blur equal win.